Hello everybody, my name is Bricky. Happy Monday to you all. It is February the 15th, one day after Valentine's Day. If you spent Valentine's Day with a significant other, I hope you did everything right and you enjoyed yourself. If you were single on Valentine's Day, well, I hope you did everything right and you didn't hurt yourself. Because I've been single on many Valentine's Days, and I can say that sometimes it's actually quite nice to wake up and be like, no obligations. On the other hand, I get it, ma'am. All I ask is that you don't drink too much. I have a simple request, and that's the only request that's needed. Anyway, in the background for this game, we have a little bit of Titanfall 2. And the opening is pretty bad because I'm trying to use the Wingman Elite, and my aim is pretty abhorrent, but we get some really, really good Legion gameplay, so I'm pretty happy with that. It was actually a pretty fun game. I played a bit of this with my Discord I think later in the night on Valentine's Day and yesterday. We had a really, really good time with it. It's still a great game. A lot of lag problems, though. A lot of, molasses feet. I don't really know what was going on with that. Maybe there was a server issue at that period of time, but, man, it was really hitting me quite hard. I'm not quite sure why that was the case. But it was between that, obviously we were playing Apex between it as well, but it's so funny to see the differences in gameplay. As I'm moving around here with the grapple hook, you can really tell that the difference between playing Pathfinder and Apex and using the grapple in Titanfall, like, god damn, does this thing go far. But damn, is it fun using it. Absolutely. So, with that in the background, hopefully it's a decent amount of gameplay, but, I get a question a lot that I honestly am surprised I even get. Because if you know me well enough, you know that anime, not a fan. Don't like it. And so, but at the same time, with this newest craze on Twitch and YouTube, there is becoming a much larger insurgence. Is a coup d'etat, a VTuber coup on the Twitch and YouTube platforms, where a lot of people are doing VTuber stuff now, and I keep getting asked what are my thoughts on it, because obviously there are many mindsets on what is considered or how VTubers and stuff are looked at, and I'm actually kind of surprised why I keep getting asked that question, because you would think you would know the answer already, but it actually gave me an opportunity to talk a little bit more about it, because it's actually starting to really pick up, and I'm kind of maybe I should say a couple things, because more than just anime bad, because that's normally my answer to most things. I think the main reason it started popping up so much is that for a while, one of my chats in my Discord just became nothing but VTuber spamming. And then it became nothing but posting that, what's that one? Amelia Watson? Was that the one? There's like a very short, badly drawn cartoon version of her. And God, it was being spammed everywhere. And so I think that's when it started being asked a lot more. And now there's an entire chat dedicated to VTubers on my server. And I'll be honest, it's not my favorite thing in the world, but, at least it keeps them in one spot. So it works out. So I guess if you're curious, what even is a VTuber is a person who has a profile that is some kind of face tracking and motion tracking on the actual person sitting down, but normally in some kind of animated form. Generally in the term of an anime girl of some kind, as that tends to be the main thing. And so basically all it is a 3D version of an anime girl that is being tracked along with your motions. So if you turn your head, it turns its head. If you're blinking, it blinks. It's simple kind of stuff. Imagine just you finally got yourself a real virtual waifu right there. And now, naturally, I don't like anime, so I'm not somebody who particularly enjoys watching this kind of thing, because I don't really find it very enjoyable. I don't like the style. One of the biggest reasons I don't like anime is because I don't like the art style at all, and therefore, I have no real interest into watching anime girls play video games. However, I must say, the tech behind it is fucking fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating to me. I am really impressed with how far technology has gone. To the point where now, just through the use of a camera, you can have an entire Persona character that does anything and everything that you want it to. And everything from blinking to the smile and the curvature of your mouth, and how you move your head and stuff, your arm movements, all this type of stuff. It's actually rather impressive that this is a thing. And In fact, it makes me kind of push more onto the idea of wondering, like, what can all of this rigging be used for in the future? Like, how can I use it for evil? You know? Now, some might say that the sheer nature of YouTubers is the evil, but no. How can we take that and really adjust it in terms of any kind of other video game? Like, how can I take that ability and make it to bump up the power of Twitch streaming, but in its own avenues? Now, I really don't know how yet, because at the moment it's mainly just watch waifu play game. But I do wonder that with that tech becoming so much more prevalent and so impressively powerful, if it'll eventually end up like really getting higher up there in the way it can be used. And I don't know. That's the thing that I'm the most curious about. For instance, as I mentioned, I don't really watch this type of stuff, but there is one person that I actually find rather enjoyable to watch, and that is I think it's Code Miko. Is that? Yeah, I gotta look at my Code Miko. That's the name. I think she's actually really interesting. One, because she did all the rigging herself, which is really impressive. But then there's like an entire 3D space. It's not just the model of the character. There's a whole 3D space and background that has all been created and coded and messed around with, which I gotta be honest, that's some pretty impressive shit. That's really cool. And it almost feels like they've made their own VR chat like map and are able to stream from it themselves, which is pretty impressive. In fact, actually, that might be one of the cool ways. Oh, I just thought of something. What if you could have squad streaming with multiple streamers at one time, but they're all in like a VR chat type thing, but since they've got a full body rig, they can all be sitting around on like couches and stuff in its own 3D room with their own various avatars. That's actually interesting. That could be a new way to do gaming podcasting, because then you don't have to leave, you know, and then you don't have to be like an in-person podcast, but then you can still have a visual representation of all the people in the podcast. That, I'm thinking about stuff. This is an idea. This is a very, So yeah, the tech is really interesting to me. I find all this kind of tech to be very impressive to see how it's like kind of moved forward from just the beginning stuff to moving to here. Though there's one thing that I will say, and I have to respect. You know, people ask, hey, Bricky, what do you think of the VTuber craze? Do you like the VTuber craze? Do you watch any VTubers? And no, I don't watch any of them, but they always ask, what do you think of it? Because now, naturally, all in good fun, I will make fun of you out there who watch VTubers, because it's the same way I make fun of people who watch anime, because it's just like come on, you can take it. You can take it. I know you can. But obviously I have no legitimate dislike to doing so. And if you want to do it, be my guest. But there's one thing that I think I really undersell. And I only understand this now that I've actually been in a relationship with for a bit, because my girlfriend does do streaming. She's not a huge streamer, like around 30 viewers, give or take, but she does do it. And every day when she goes to stream, I see her have to put on like an hour-long work of makeup. She has to spend like an hour getting her freaking makeup on every time to go stream 4 hours or so, and you know, possibly not make any money or anything to justify the time spent. And every time I see it, I'm like, oh my god, being a guy, it is so freaking nice to not have to put a full fucking face of makeup on before I do any kind of streaming. And if you do the VTuber stuff, that will allow women who stream to not have to put a full goddamn face of makeup on. And that alone makes me okay with it. That alone, I'm like, all right. You know, before I was kind of like, a bunch of the VTuber thing. I don't really know if I like this. I don't really know if I want to see a lot of it because it seems kind of weird. You know, I'm not really a big fan of it. But that, when I really thought about that, yeah, that's totally fine. If it allows streamers, particularly female streamers, I guess there are guys who do makeup, like if you do like a drag queen thing, or maybe you just want to wear makeup in general. But then again, you have to be a VTuber. Whatever. I'm getting into semantics right now. But basically, if you don't have to put on a full face of makeup before every single stream because you're using a VTuber rig, goddamn power to you. Power to you. That is a huge benefit that I never thought about. And that alone, I think, is good enough for me to be like, all right, I'm down with seeing more of it. You know, I may not watch it myself, but if I start seeing VTubers just take over the platform, well, that's fine, because then if there's more VTubers than regular people, then suddenly I now am in a market with higher demand, which is good. But also, it means that it opens up the avenue to, one, not have to worry about your looks, especially for female streamers. Now you don't have to care about what you actually look like in real life because you have a persona, and now you're not going to put a makeup on regardless. So now you don't need to work with either of them. You know, there's nothing holding you back in that kind of physical department, which, you know, it shouldn't hold you back to begin with, but, you know, we're in the world we live in. I'm not going to pretend like we're in the perfect world right now. In the perfect world, men like me wouldn't exist. But that right there, not having to care about makeup, not having to care about physical appearances, that there, it makes me be like, all right, I'm not going to watch VTuber because I'm not interested. But you know what? If more of them start popping up, totally fine with me. So there's your answer to the question I get asked on almost a daily basis. Well, what do I think of VTubers? There you go. I hope you're happy with my answer, because I never expected to make a video actually talking about this. As for that, for the patrons, both the Big Brick Wall boys as well as the rest of my patrons, I thank you so much for supporting me. You guys are absolute kings. And I will see you next Monday. Bye-bye.